All right. I'm unsure if it sent the notification to anyone yet, but I'll just wait a little bit. I have to set up stuff anyways. All right. I think it's been enough waiting. Um, so it's been a while. Yeah. Um, I just wanted to do this stream as like a chat, as a general discussion, because I know I haven't really been too like what's the word? Just public about what I've been doing. Um, obviously, I've been working on World Song, though sparingly, but um, I just wanted to take some time, to, talk about what I'm actually feeling at the moment. Um, and what I've been doing for the past like 2 months, give or take. Um, even though I have World Song up here right now, it is not just about World Song. It's about a lot of projects, actually. So, um, it's not gonna be just exclusive to my own game. Just give me a second. All right. I set up the chat thing now, so I can actually see your messages. Um, I forgot if there was an answer to this, but will World Song have mobile and console access? Um, it has console stuff added. I didn't do mobile, and I don't really plan to. Um, at least yet. That's not on my priorities. Um, I think I did answer that before, but I didn't really bother making it like its whole big thing because even when I answered that, console wasn't really all that implemented. So now it's like you can actually play the game with a controller. As of before, when I answered it, it was only like the bare minimum with it. There were still some issues. The game wasn't designed for console, but I had figured um that some people will have to play using console, so I figured, yeah, why not? What's the planned release date for World Song, or for whatever other thing? Is that loud? That is kind of loud, but whatever. World Song, eh, because I was planning to release it before April, and then you see how that turned out. Turns out there was a lot more things at stake than just making this come into fruition. I had to make a lot of changes to the game because the game wasn't very finalized. So I spent a lot of time making optimizations and figuring out what I really want for the game. Apologies if you can hear my dog in the background. I'm trying to shush him, but he doesn't listen. But point being, I had to make a lot of changes, and that's definitely contributed to a very large, noticeable delay. I am planning to get it out at least by next year, and the early access. I mean by that, not like the final product. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, because I've been working on this game for a while. Hold on, let me disable music for this, because I've been working on this game for a while, and although it is very near and dear to me as like a game, because I've been working on this, I think, even before like Pilgrammed was in its like second thing. Wait, hold on, let me lower my volume because it's probably drowning out my actual mic audio. There we go. Yeah. Okay. But basically, I've been working on this game for a while, but the issue is that although, I really do like the game as it's turned out, I don't know what else I can really do with it. So that's why I kind of wanted to talk today to discuss, the future of my projects, and also even showing you some other projects I've been up to. Just to show you, why I've chosen to do the things I've done. Well, the things I plan to do. So, also I'm playing in studio, so I'm sorry if it's like laggy or whatever. But would early access cost Robux to play? I don't know. Probably not. I wouldn't feel inclined to make it early access. I don't think I want to make it early access. Yet again, I can't predict the future, but I'm not planning to because it's not really finished. Even if I release it as an early access, it's far from the vision I was trying to go for a few months back. And what basically happened is earlier, like, and whatnot, and I still want to do that eventually, just because I would like to have fun making like the story mode and bringing it up to light and stuff. However, especially now, working on this game has been a bit of a challenge because of several other projects I've been working on, which I admit are way more interesting than working on this game. You see, at the beginning of this game's development, I had nothing else. This was like the peak of my, basically my development journey at the time. It was a very rapid exponential increase, and it still kind of is now, but even just back then, the bare minimum that I achieved, which, I mean, if you look at my older World Song videos, you can tell it's not as polished as it is now. Back then, I was really proud of what I made with this game. And I had a lot more free time too. Now I don't have as much free time because, you know, school. And ultimately, school comes. The thing that causes me not to be just pumping out games is school, because the thing that I'm doing in school takes a lot of dedication to do well in. So I've been kind of putting my whole Roblox thing on the back burner as a result. And that's why it's just been slow. Everything's been slow basically. And especially with World Song. World Song as it stands is pretty much finished. Like it needs a lot more optimization, and that's the reason why it's not finished. Not because that as gameplay it's not finished. It's finished. I'm proud of the gameplay, at least right now. I think it's very fun. But my main challenge right now is like substance. Substance. Because I feel like with a lot of Roblox games nowadays that are like fighting games, you know, all you do is fight. That's like the whole thing. And I mean, you would obviously say, oh, well, that's intuitive. You know, a fighting game, all you do is fight. Wow. But my issue is that I don't want this to be like a battlegrounds game or something. I don't want it to devolve into that type of thing. Because that's not what I was going for with this game. I wanted it to be like an arena fighter. Like you would queue up in matches and stuff and you would fight. That's what I wanted, but turns out kind of hard to make. And it's hard to design maps that aren't just the same blank canvas with just random decorations instead. I want to have dynamic gameplay, but it's hard to do that because, well, there's so many factors that makes it harder not to just resort to it being a battlegrounds game. Because if it's a battlegrounds game, all you have to do is the combat. Maps don't really care. You don't really have to care about maps if you're doing just straight battlegrounds. But I don't want that, because I feel like battlegrounds are kind of not lazy. Some are pumped out lazily, but some are just like all you do is fight. And since World Song, I have like a world planned for it, you know, like lore and everything. It'd kind of suck if it just devolved into something like, I don't know, like Overwatch or something. Like most of the lore you just kind of have to search up on your own time. Or like Dark Souls. Because even if Dark Souls has like it's more story driven, you still have to like, you won't deduce most of the stuff that it throws at you until you do like that extra research. And I kind of don't want that, because I want to tell a story. Oh, with at least my recent games, I've been trying to tell stories. There's like one or two that I haven't been trying to tell a story, but most of it I've been trying to tell a story. But it's hard to do that. A story mode takes a lot of time. It's how do I explain it? Story modes take lots of time, obviously. Lots of dedication to make more than one game, basically. Because this game is already just one game, but making a whole other story mode for it, that's a lot. Especially when you're not really making a profit off of it, you know. I'm not trying to say money's everything, but especially now when I'm going to have to start being more financially independent, I have to start managing my time wisely. So I don't really have that same drive as I had when I was like 15 or 14. Because this game I made when I was like 14, 15, I think. No, I think it was 15. I was 15 when I made this game. And I've been working on it now. I'm 17 right now. So it's been like roughly 2 or 3 years in the making. So I've been spending a lot of time. I don't have the same drive as I did before. I just don't. It's actually terrible. School burnout sucks. School burnout sucks. It's so terrible. I don't want to turn this into a pity party, but it's terrible. Um, Pursuing academics seriously is good in the long term, but at the same time, I never really wanted it. So I'm kind of in a little predicament, but I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. My point is, I'm burnt out right now when it comes to making projects spontaneously and doing the same systems over and over and over. So I've been trying to pick and choose which projects I'm gonna do because to, I want all these projects to come out. It's not like I want any of these to stop being worked on, but I'm a I'm a team of one basically. World Song has contributors and some other developers, but most of the time it's just me working on the game. Um, so I admit my budget in terms of like time and effort is kind of spent. So I'm trying to see which games I'm gonna work on, which is why I've come here today. Um, so obviously we have this game, World Song. It's like a arena fighter. You already saw many videos about it. I've been trying to get the word out about this game because I think it's fun. I honestly think people will enjoy it, and it's a nice refresher from other games which I shall not name, but if you know, you know, games similar to this but not really. Um bless me. Um I think it's going to be really fun when I do eventually release it for early access. Probably either by the end of this year or next year. Not the end of next year. I meant like the beginning of next year, which is what I said before, and then you know how that worked out. But I do want it to be by the end of this year or by the start of next year, because that's when I'll be on break most of the time. Um, let's see. I wasn't even reading the chat. I was just talking to myself the whole time. Do you plan to make dynamics and substances before releasing the game? You can say something like that. Full release, I'm gonna try to make it have more substance. Right now, early access, I'm just gonna try to make not the bare minimum, but like somewhat the bare minimum, just so you can enjoy the gameplay. Nothing crazy. Um, yeah. The gameplay is basically done. So if anything, I'll just show the gameplay because I mean that's the thing that people come for the most. Not for the world or anything. It's just mainly the the main course, and the substance is just what makes it last longer. It's like Minecraft saturation. If you have like a raw piece of chicken or whatever, you only get a certain amount of hunger bars, but when you have like a steak, that shit lasts forever. So that's basically it. That's like the metaphor I can use for this. I'm trying to make it so that it doesn't last 2 seconds. I'm trying to make it so that you can play this game and not get bored after the first 5 seconds. Because what most of these fighting games come down to is just competitiveness, being the best. Which I'm honestly interested to see how good people will be. Because at least like right now, I think I'm like the best player, apart from like maybe one or two other players that are testing at the moment. So I want to see if people could, find ways to beat me. And any tester can attest to this. I am basically the best at my own game, which I would hope so, because I've been working on it for 2 years. I've had a 2-year head start, so I would hope. So I'm curious, but that's not my main focus. I just want people to be able to enjoy the game without being like, oh wow, this is literally just you hit people to death all day long. It's kind of boring. Nothing really happens other than that. Like even games like Deep Woken, where like it's basically a fighting game. It's basically a fighting game. They want it to be an RPG, but it's basically a fighting game. It's a fighting game where you have to spend the first 8 hours doing menial tasks to get to the fighting game part. So that's basically a fighting game, but they never get tired because they still have the progression and the dopamine rush and whatever. So like I want to have that sort of substance where people just don't give up after the first 10 seconds. Now I don't want to have people like um eating this game up like it's their life's like life force either. Because I want people to enjoy the game for what it is and not because it's like a competitor or something. I want it to be fun, but I don't want it to be like a antithesis to like the strongest battlegrounds or something like that. You know? So that's what I'm going for. Will there be separate game modes for World Song like King of the Hill, Capture the Flag, etc.? Yeah, that's what I plan. That's what I meant by substance. I want to have variety, because if it's just you fight people all the time with the same conditions, that's like insanity. Doing the same thing over and over with like minimal results, differing results. I'd rather not. Will there be mobile support? I already said nah. At least not right now. Maybe I'll think of it in the future, but right now, no. Let's see. Okay. So the World Song is one of them. And now, on to the next one. I think I've already shown gameplay, so you don't have to see that much. But I do want to show some other stuff, so hold on. Let's talk about Pilgram real quick. As you saw in the, I don't know if it was a direct. As you saw in the direct, I was working on it for a bit. I don't know if that's surprising or not. You'll see which parts I worked on. You'll be able to tell. But I've been working on that a little bit. Mainly because, working the updates, I feel like it's gonna be a large update. It's larger than Catacombs, I think. And that at the time was considered large. I'm not trying to inflate your expectations either. It's just gonna be a large update. There's a lot planned. Like as we speak, we have like a checklist that we have to go through, and we still have like at least maybe another 15 things or something. I don't know. It was like some large number, but it's still a lot of stuff to do. So I haven't been working on it as much as the other developers, but I can attest it's gonna be a large update, and I want to bless me. I just want to say that I wouldn't count on Pilgram's being like super active after that update. I don't know if that's like a disappointment to anybody. I mean, he kind of already alluded to it in the thing, but I wouldn't count on it. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be dead, because it's not. I don't think, especially with how versatile Pilgram is. It's still, there's still stuff that can be done. But I mean, like, just in general, I mean, it's basically, at least how I'm seeing it, it's going to be like my final goodbye to the game, the send-off update, basically. Now, for them, I don't know. Maybe they'll make some more updates, but I wouldn't count on it being, like, crazy like this upcoming update. So I guess with that being said, I would hope that you would enjoy that update the most. Because, I mean, it's the last one, basically, for, like significant content. I do plan, after this update, me and the developers want to release, like, not like a memorial. I don't know what to call it, but it's like, basically a remembrance for, like, all the concepts that were, like, scrapped. Like a behind the scenes thing on what could have been. Because, for one of the updates, I was already kind of alluding to it when I was still active. but um, eventually we kind of stopped working on that update, especially after I left. It was basically gone. So I do want to release like my the concept ideas that we made and whatnot, just so like you could see, at least so the work isn't lost, if anything, because it did take a lot of time to make those ideas, even if they never came into fruition. So do look forward to that. Um, is there going to be any other replayability features added to Pilgrim beside PvP? Um, eh, I don't know. I don't know that much. Um, I think so, but I don't know. I don't know what you would consider replayability. But I think there will be more things to sink your teeth into in Saber, if that's your question. Um, so for these next games, I'll just be going over. Um, these are basically projects I'm currently working on. They're unfinished. They're definitely in the works right now, but it's just I'm just showing you what I have planned. All right. Where is it? Hold on. There you go. Okay. So here's the first game on like my checklist. If you were aware back in like 2014, I don't know if any of you were like playing Roblox back in 2014. I was. And one of the games were called like it was Space Knights, and I really liked that game. You know, it has a lot of nostalgia, but it aged terribly though. That's the main thing. Like if you play it's not that great. But I'm basically making like a remaster of it. I don't have a lot of stuff done on it, but this is something that I am working on. Don't mind the hit noises. But I plan to make it like a more, I don't know how to explain, just a more intense version of the game with more exciting gameplay, because before it wasn't really that great, and more consistent gameplay too. Um, I won't explain the game too much, but um, think Pilgrammed kinda, but not really. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's the same like fighting as Pilgrammed, but not really. You'll just have to see it for yourself. Um, but this is something that I'm working on. It's very nice. I think it'll be nice when I actually, um, I think it'll be nice when I actually release it. This isn't like a crazy major project of mine. It's just something that I'm working on in my spare time because I really do like the game and I want it to be, something that people enjoy. Oh, that shit just fucking flew away. But yeah, it's gonna be different weapons, ranged and melee. You'll have to defend the core, like the main, the inspiration, and it'll be nice. I think you guys will like it. So that's one, and then the other, I can't show quite yet because, well, it doesn't really have a tangible product to show right now. But one game I do want to announce that's in the making is a game called Gan. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Gant Teidil, basically. Hold on, let me just get a quick text box to show you what I mean. Hold on, what's this? And then it's this. It's this right here. I don't know how to pronounce it because this is like Irish, but um, this game, it's gonna be my next major project. I kind of want it not to be like a successor of Pilgram, but I do want it to be like I do want people from Pilgram to try it out when it does get made. It's not like really complete right now, and it's still like heavily in the making, but it is something I'm planning to work on. And I think um I'll have help from the developers. I'm not sure yet. I still have to manage who's working on it with me or not. But I am planning to work on it a lot more than like World Song and the other game I just showed, because it's basically going to be an RPG, Souls like kind of, but not like the Estus healing shits. It's more dynamic than that. Um it's like, I don't know how to explain it. You're born as something that's made only to explore like a vertical abyss basically. And as you go down, you have to deal with the challenges that come with facing the lower levels. And you can play different roles because you're born as a worker who like explores under like a corporation basically. So you can play the role of like direct, you go straight for the bottom and you fight, or you can help other players either by just being like an assistant to make things more easier for everyone, or like securing an area or something, or you can help people who are like about to die. You can like be a medic basically. And naturally, as even if you're not like straight going for the bottom, you'll naturally eventually be reassigned to lower layers before you eventually have to reach the bottom. And I think with this game, a lot of it's going to be about, whether you're you or not. Because, when you're born as what you are at the beginning, you're still associated with the surface, but the only way to get in the bottom layers is to kind of give up that part of yourself and to start looking at things differently. And I think that's gonna I do plan to realize that in a more literal sense when it comes time. um I am working on like a little poster for it right now. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Oh, why is this? There we go. I'm currently working on it right now, the poster for it. Um, this is your guy, basically the guy that I painted in right now. I'll post it when I actually finish it, but I'm very excited for this game, as you can tell, because I just spent the last like 10 minutes yapping about it. Um, and this is what I kind of want. This is if it's hard to explain. I really wish there was just some way to communicate like my abstract thoughts to you without having to like actually word them. But this is what I want Pilgram to kind of be like. I guess you could view it as a more serious take. Still, there will still be like obviously like goofy elements, but it's going to be a lot more serious. Explore a lot more themes than what the other game does, and it'll be a lot more hardcore too, because Pilgrimmed, um, at least to me, is very not easy, but it's not really that intense. Nothing really has much consequence. So in this game, it's gonna be a lot more difficult, but it's not gonna be like crazy difficult. It's not gonna be unnecessarily difficult, like say Rogue Lineage or Deepoken or anything of the sort. I don't want it to be artificially difficult. I want it to be intense, but I don't want it to be like just like, because at the end of the day, you should be playing games to have fun, not to break your fucking screen. So that's what I plan for this game. And with that out of the way, um, I do want to go into how I'm going to address these now that I've actually told you about them. So number one, World Song. I think I already said this before, but World Song, early access, and then afterwards, if people enjoy the game, because I'm not gonna work on making it whole if it's gonna be hated anyways. So here's my plan, right? For World Song, early access is probably coming by the end of this year or by the start of next year. That's me. By the start of next year or the end of this year. Um, it'll just be a simple. You drop in, you get like a server code, so you can join other people's in like a blank little training server, so you can fight other people. You can train on dummies there. You'll have access to like a console and everything, so you can set your stats and whatnot, so you can have fun with it a little bit. It'll be like a sandbox version. And then afterwards, if people enjoy the game, let's say in the next whatever time until I come back to actually finish it, then I'll focus on giving it more substance, working on the story mode too, and maybe more characters. But to be fair, I'm not really too enthusiastic about adding more characters. It's already annoying as is. But point being, that's what I'm planning for the game. I don't think it'll be what's it called? Paid access. I do plan to make it free to play. You can donate through like little game passes, but that's about it. There's no like microtransaction or anything like that. I don't know if that'll be a thing in the future, but I'm pretty sure not. I'm not that desperate for cash or anything. So the server for it, I do plan to make public before the game comes out, just so like I can answer any last minute ideas and just get people going in before it's like a sudden flood. I don't think it'll be as popular as Pilgrammed, but I do want to prepare for the worst. So how are you gonna pull off all these games before the finances stuff come in? Lots of games you have in mind, but mass burnout and not enough time. I'd be surprised if you pull this all off. And this is why I'm budgeting. This section of the stream is dedicated to telling you how I'm going to approach these. So World Song, blah blah blah, early access, and then if I have enough incentive to continue, I'll continue. But I won't be too heartbroken if I have to just leave it at that in its current state. Also, I want to say that in the case where I do stop working on a game entirely, like if I just quit it, I will be making it uncopy locked. Like after a year or two, if I do truly stop working on it. This doesn't apply to Pilgrammed because one, Pilgrammed isn't even my game, but number two, it would be kind of stupid to do that. So I'm not going. It's not happening with Pilgrammed. It's not in my right to do that, and I wasn't gonna plan to do it anyways, even if it was in my right. But with World Song and Space Knights and Gant Teidil, I might do that. So even if I can't finish working on it, I'm sure someone can pick it up because that's what I'm doing with Space Knights. So you guys will have fun in the case I stop working on it. But next up, so World Song will be like my side project. Space Knights will be like basically just to pass the time type of game. It's not gonna be too crazy of a game, but I do want it to be. Yeah, I want to just have it for fun, not anything crazy, not anything too committal. And then obviously it'll be on copy lock, so you can go whatever once I stop working on it. And then Gant Teidil will be the next major project, so I'll be working on that. I'm assuming now I might be wrong, and whoever this applies to may correct me, but Um, after the Pilgrammed update, the raindrops, whatever, comes out, then um, real progress will start being made on the actual game on Gant Teidil. That'll be like the next major thing. Um, that's what I plan to mainly be focusing on. Um, I wasn't thinking of it at the time, but in the case where times get desperate, because I do want Gant Teidil to come out more than I do want, say, what's his fucking face, World Song or whatever to come out. I am considering getting a team for it because I do think that it can honestly be really nice, but, 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 we'll have to see. Because number one, I don't have that type of cash. Because obviously, I'm not gonna just. There's no way in hell no one's ever going to get a team like that's competent and will also do shit for free. That's just not possible. And honestly, it would be kind of inhumane to do that, assuming that it wasn't like a voluntary thing. So maybe if I have the funding or whatever, I'll get like a team to work on it for me in case that I don't have any other options. But that's not like my main thing. I'm definitely not gonna do that until like last minute final resort, whatever. So that's what I'm planning to do with Gant Teidil. Obviously I'll let you know. I might do a devlog for either just any project really. Because I do want to document my shits. World Song's basically documented kinda, but not really. But I don't want to repeat that with like Space Knights or Gant Teidil. So I want to even Pilgrammed, actually, now that I think about it. Pilgrammed has more documentation than anything because we've made so many dumbass videos for like memes and shit. But now it's like the only proof of like the old game apart from like digging into like past versions. So I do want to have like a devlog for it, and it'll be nice to get like, feedback. Oh, this looks nice. Yeah. Thank you. So, that's what I'm planning. As for, I know at least one person asked. I don't want to bother checking the chat, but I do think at least one person, asked something about testing. World Song, there's basically no testing because early access is gonna be the part where you guys test, so there's no like exclusive testing thing anyway. As for Space Knights, if I do want testers, I'll open up that ship. And then for Gant Teidil, I don't know if I'll have testers yet. It'll probably be a lot later when I actually have gameplay to show. Because right now it's been like through purgatory, basically. It's been constantly going over different changes and variations and what I wanted it to be. Because one time I wanted it to be third person, one time I wanted it to be first person, but first person was kind of regrettable because I just don't think there's any way. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't think melee combat in first person is like possible to do reasonably. It's just there's too much stuff involved and it's too weird. I'd rather just do a third person. So that's what I'm planning with that. Yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. Thank you guys for showing up. Obviously, I'll have some more streams like this in the future because I don't want to have to make videos for everything. But thank you guys for coming. I'll see you guys later. See you.